Hi guys, so I recorded a video for STEM, and STEM is an organisation in the UK, although they do have other versions of it in different countries. And STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. And it's a volunteer organisation, and you put your time into it to hopefully help mentor and educate young adults, kids of different ages that are currently in education, and you're trying to kind of get them excited and passionate about those different areas and different industries. So I recorded this upcoming clip for sort of like a career advice or career day video. So it's going to be shared with kids that are kind of getting to the point where they're making decisions about what to do next. So they might be coming to the end of studying for what we call GCSEs here in the UK, which are done at about sort of 15 or 16, I believe. And then after that, you can go on to do A levels, which are sort of more specialized exams. Or you might be leaving and going off to college or going into the workforce, or maybe you're going to end up then going on to university. So there's different options that young adults have. So this video was designed to kind of talk about the journey that I went on and the path that I took. So what did I do at school and what career did I go into? And then how did I become an independent consultant working for myself at the minute? So I did it for, like I said, young adults, but I thought it might be helpful to share here also. Maybe you've got kids at home yourself, or you've got nieces or nephews or friends' kids that might benefit from it. Or maybe you're thinking about changing your own career and you just don't know how to do it. So I thought it might be useful, so that's why I'm sharing it here as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hi, my name is Megan Walker, and I am an independent power platform consultant, meaning I work for myself. So what is that? So I'm pretty sure you've probably all heard of Microsoft. And if you haven't, you've likely used Word, Excel, Outlook, maybe PowerPoint, and those are all Microsoft products. So what I do is I go into an organization who wants to implement different Microsoft products called Dynamics 365, Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, things like that. And I basically show them how to use it. I do customizations and configuration on those products. I help them with the requirements that they have, and I go ahead and I build the product in the way in which they want it to work. So that's what I do. So how did I get into that? I never thought that I would end up working for myself. When I was at school, I did GCSEs and I did French and German and history and geography and all of the other sort of core subjects that you need to take. And I did those, and then I carried on to do A levels, and then sort of middle of the second year, then I realized it just wasn't for me. And I went out and I left and went to work in a hotel, and I did that for about a year or so. And then I realized that I wanted to work in hospitality and work in bars and hotels and restaurants. And so I went to college and did hotel and catering management. So I did that, and as part of that, you had to go somewhere for a year. So I went to America and worked in Atlanta for a year. And did that, and then I met someone who became my husband, and then I ended up living there for 14 years. So that was kind of the start of my career path, was in restaurants, in hotels, and so on. But all the time that I was doing that, I always had a love for computers and technology, and taught myself how to create websites, and always enjoyed things like that, and social media and search engine optimization and all of these sort of geeky cool things that I like to do. I always did that sort of in my free time. So I ended up leaving hotels because it just was really late nights, or getting up and starting work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and it just wasn't fun. I went and worked for a company that used software, and the software that they used was called Microsoft Dynamics CRM. That's what it was called at the time. So I started to learn how to use it quite quickly and started to teach the people that I worked with, and I would show them little tips and tricks on how to do things. And then eventually I ended up becoming the trainer for the organization on training people how to use this Microsoft product. Then I became the system administrator, and what that means is you're responsible for the system. So if somebody says, I'd really like a field or I'd like a button, and when I press this button, this is what I want to happen, then I would say, okay, well, when this happens, let's do this, this, and this, and let's expand on this and really kind of understand what it is that they wanted the system to do. And then I would go away and I would build it and I would create that. So I would make it happen when someone pressed a button, then these things would happen. So I loved doing that. It was really cool. And so I did that for a while for a company. And then I realized that I wanted to learn more. And I started working for what's known as a Microsoft partner. So a Microsoft partner is an organization that I guess essentially Microsoft have kind of approved that they can sell Microsoft products. So they can sell these products to organizations, and then they can start a project. And that project could be a month, it could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, it could be years, in terms of these are all the requirements this organization has, and here's how we're going to build them, and then we build them. So I had that experience for about 3 years. And during that time, I picked up all kinds of different skills and understanding of how these big projects would work, and really got as much as I could in terms of different skills and different bits of knowledge that I could then use. And then I realized that actually I could do this myself, not necessarily big projects that were going to last for years, because you need teams of 20, 30, 40, 50 people to do those, but I could take on small projects that I could do on my own. So I started doing that from January of this year, where I can make my own decisions. I can decide what work I want to do. If I decide that I want to just work 3 or 4 days a week for a month, I can do that, and I can take 4 days off a week. So these are benefits that I didn't ever think that I would have, but it's certainly an exciting thing to be able to make your own schedule, essentially. Now, there are obviously challenges, and it's not always easy, because if you don't have work, then no one's paying you. You've got to have an accountant. You've got to understand how to pay your taxes and what taxes you need to pay. So there are certainly things that you need to be aware of if you want to run and own your own business. But to me, those are just slight downsides, and they're not really that bad. It's just that you've got to be aware of them, and it's not easy if you don't have work coming in. So when I first left school and I went into hotels, I never ever thought that I would have a job that I actually get out of bed in the morning and I'm excited and passionate about doing this every single day. I did never think that I would go into computers, even though I always really liked working with computers. I thought that I would work in hotels forever. So that's one thing that I would say. Any decision that you make today, don't think that that's what you have to do for the rest of your life, because you don't. You can change your career so many times over the years. And every job that you have, whether it's a Saturday job working at a McDonald's or a Greg's Bakery or whatever that might be, any job you have, you'll always learn something from it, and you'll be able to then take that knowledge and the skills that you've learned and move on into the next job and hopefully carry on using those skills. It also means that you will do jobs and find things that you don't like and you know you never want to do again. And that's good as well, because you're kind of then saying, right, I've done that. Yes, it was an experience. Maybe it wasn't a good experience, but I know how to do this, and I know that I don't want to do it again. So for me, there are things that I did when I worked for a Microsoft partner, working on these big, massive projects. I don't like that. So I know I don't want to do it again, but it was a good experience, and I know now how they work. So any job that you have, try and focus on, I'm learning here. I'm either going to never do this again, or I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this again, because this is now I've found what I'm passionate about and what I'm excited about. So I would say, again, try and make the best decisions that you can now, but don't worry and feel like the decisions you do make will sort of lock you into something for the rest of your life, because that's not the case. So I hope this helps. If you are interested in having your own business, you can start off small and you can say, right, well, it's just me and that's what I do. I don't have to worry about paying people. I don't have to worry about managing other people. You might have dreams or goals of having an organization where you do have a team of people, and that's great too. But just know that owning your own business doesn't have to be something big. It can just be sort of a business of one, a business of yourself. So I hope this is helpful. Good luck in your futures and your career choices, and all the best.